Open the meeting to the public at this time. Anybody wishing to address the board may do so. So that there's nobody who wants to address the board, you'll have a chance at the end of the meeting. Minutes of the previous meeting, board, you all have copies. Is there any additions or deletions?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting, September 20th, 2010.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Baker. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Bills. You all have copies of the bills. Is there any additions or deletions, sir?
We have one addition this evening, it's to Safe Light in the amount of $316.90. And that was to repair the windshield on the pickup truck of the sewer plant. They hit by a rock or something, but we've already been reimbursed by the insurance on this.
Oh, okay, so it's a wash.
Right.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as amended tonight.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Baker. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, vote by usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Correspondence.
I have nothing.
Thank you, Carol. Excuse me. Well, first thing on the agenda is amending the procurement policy. And if you take a look at page 2, if you have not looked at it, the parameters have changed. And that's basically about all, right, Arsen?
Correct. It's the
They have increased.
purchase contract part that's changed. It went from 20,000 to 35,000 before you have to go out to bid.
So I need a motion.
Move it. Okay. Second.
Moved by trustee Huckrow, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor vote by usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. That'll have to be roll call, does it? Okay. All right, second thing on my agenda is a discussion on the Clinton County, you'll all have copies of the county local law on, it's local law 2, on exemption for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers on assessment, and that's a 10%. And wait, I got another sheet here somewhere. Oh, you covered it up. What it says is that property must be a primary resident, certification of 5 years of service and continued active membership, and certificate of 20 years of service shall be granted 10% of reduction for a lifetime. And it cannot be used with the current $200 state exemption. Now, to sort of explain that, on state income tax, you can get a $200 exemption if you're a volunteer fireman. If you take this instead of it, $60,000 home is a wash. I'm recommending that we go along with this. We don't have that many volunteer firemen that are residents, but it's an incentive to maybe people, eventually buy a home here, right? And it's imperative that, once the county has passed this law, it's imperative that the village and the town does. The fire department should be approaching the town to have this done. And then, when we get all three, we're going to have to go after the school board. So that it's across the board.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
what do they mean by active?
Took the words out of my mouth.
You got, I think you got a copy of the whole thing, but it doesn't really define
It
it.
doesn't really define
doesn't,
it, no, I mean,
And I asked that question because there were some things I was concerned about. All right, if I am a paid EMT, I am not volunteer.
That's correct.
no.
And, Harry is looking into some of these things, whereas Harry Menace.
Well,
And he said, he sort of agreed with me, that the paid EMT is, you know,
well, I'm not even thinking of that, I'm thinking of fire department members that don't show for meetings, that don't show for fires.
well, you know what?
You know,
The way I look at this, trustee Huckrow, is that this is a county law. We can put our own restrictions into it.
I think we ought to accept it, but people, you know, people understand, the active means active.
Well, what I need is a motion that be sent to the lawyers
Got
and
it.
be drafted.
Okay, I'll
Got
second
it.
it. John made the motion. I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion?
It's just wanted to ask, is it for all firemen though? Just for the active ones?
No, active firemen, that doesn't include exempt, and, they must be a property owner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's all.
Being as I am directly impacted by this, I'm just gonna stay from the discussions.
No discussion. Just a vote.
It's a good idea.
I'm impacted by it too. Ryan's impacted by it. Anyway, no other discussion, all those in favor by use of sign of aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried to, we'll send this off to Renee, draft it, and then we can sit down. And I think we should sit down with a committee of the fire department. And put something together on this.
We should probably write a letter to the village, the fire department, Carol. And ask them to create, we should write a letter to the fire department asking them to create a committee to work with the village board,
No more than 3 people.
right? To work out the details of this.
You don't get it. This is going forward, right?
All right, next thing on my agenda. I request an executive session to discuss litigation.
Second?
Moved by myself, seconded by trustee Jefferson, and this is a roll call vote. Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Huckrow.
Right.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And that's it for me. Trustee Jefferson.
Thank you, Mayor Rivers.
Excuse me.
No, go ahead.
I gave you all a sheet of, it's in there on that legislative breakfast. Is anybody interested in going?
I respectfully decline.
Well, I'm going myself, if that's all right. Okay, that's all I want to know. Trustee Jefferson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Rivers. A couple items on my agenda tonight. First, I'll put this in form of a motion to authorize Mike Riley and Gary Malinsky to attend training in Lake Placid on October 28, 2010.
Second?
Well, that was unison.
Teamwork.
Moved by trustee Jefferson, seconded by my choice, trustee Roberts. Any discussion? No discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
Okay, the second item on my agenda tonight, I just want to announce that the water level in the water tank, the level of the water tank is back to normal. So we're back to status quo, everything's okay now. Last Thursday and Friday, the mayor and I attended the annual Independent Energy Efficiency Program in Syracuse, New York, and there's a couple of items that are coming up that we're gonna try to take part in, and they're gonna start educating the kids in the school, and it's all part of the program for people to realize that we have to save energy. It was a good meeting, and there was quite a few people there from around the state, so I'm glad we attended that. And that's all I have to report tonight.
Thank you, trustee Jefferson. Trustee Baker.
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, trustee Baker. Trustee Roberts.
I just got a couple of things. First, I'd like to update on the 4th of July celebration. The 4th of July committee did have a meeting on Tuesday, the 28th of September. There was a few residents that came, that volunteered to join the committee. After a lengthy discussion on what we're gonna do, who's gonna do what, there were some committee members that want to try and step off from the committee. So the bottom line was, when we got done our discussion, that the fact was that we felt that there was lack of committee members, and so at that time, we had decided not to go forward with the celebration. But since then, some other residents have come forward and volunteered to participate. So with that being said, I think we need to have a follow-up discussion or follow-up meeting with our 4th of July committee and try and get everybody on a roundtable discussion, see who's gonna do what. I know Jerry has volunteered to pretty much do what she has done in the past couple years, so that's a good thing, and Carol has too. Most of the work is done up front, you know, as far as getting vendors and sponsors and organizing what's going to happen. But we need volunteers for that weekend. There are some newbies, I'll call them, that have some fresh ideas, and we'll see how it all works out. So as far as right now, I think the committee has voted not to have it, but I think in hindsight, we're probably going to have another follow-up meeting. So that's probably where we're staying with that. Any questions on that for now? Okay, the second thing on my agenda, I would like to make a motion that we approve Nancy Baker as a substitute crossing guard. Right now we have Mary Nautel, but Mary goes away during the winter months, so we'd like to have another person on board.
You make a motion?
Yes, I did.
Second.
Second by, moved by trustee Roberts, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
And that is all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, trustee Roberts. Trustee Huckrow.
Only one thing, Mr. Mayor, I had the privilege of attending the Municipal Electric Association conference in Lake Placid a couple weekends ago, along with Brian Pelkey and you, Mr. Mayor. And Rouses Point looks awfully good to the people up there. Especially Bill Berry, who was the responsible person for all the IEP money coming. I think that, I'm not sure what we couldn't get from him. Bill's very, very cooperative, very willing to do whatever we want in Rouses Point. And that is, gotta give credit to the mayor, because the mayor does very well for the village and is recognized by not only Bill Berry, but while at the meeting, the mayor was given a statewide award, which, I don't know if you expected it or not, but it was in the North Countryman this last week anyway, for distinguished service, outstanding service to his community over a period of years. This isn't something he's done for over 1 year. And George was the mayor was the recipient of this award this year, and he darn well has earned it. And I happened to be at that banquet, and he got not only one, but 2 standing ovations. Well, that's a very unusual thing. So congratulations, Mr. Mayor, and Carol, thank you for making the nomination. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, trustee Huckrow. I had something else that slipped my mind. That's what comes in
I
age.
got one other thing too, I just forgot.
Yeah. Oh, I know that.
Ray's Appliances asked us if we would put under, it says where the village parking lot, when you come up State Street, going west on State Street, it says village parking lot, but he'd like to know if we put an arrow pointing in so that would direct the traffic more towards the south end of the parking lot. So I don't think it would be very much from our friends down at Flying Cow Sign, so I'd just like permission to order a little sign with an arrow on it. We'll match all the colors up, and so, how's the other thing.
Well, I need a motion. We need a motion
I'll
for
make a
that.
motion, I'll make a motion to get that sign, put it in there for him.
Okay, it'll only be a little arrow, just,
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Baker, seconded by trustee Roberts. Any other discussion?
no, no. It's all paid out of my pocket. Jesus.
I wanna hear that, I wanna see that.
All those in favor, vote by usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. One quick thing, just to let everybody know. Rec center here, we put in 2 dehumidifiers last month. They're now up and operating, and they're absolutely working perfectly. There's no fog, no dripping, no nothing in the arena whatsoever. They got some spots on the ice, and I said, these things are not, and all Mike says it was a heavy rain, came through the vents. And that's where the vent dripping came from. It's nothing to worry about, he said. He is ecstatic of how they're working.
It's gonna save energy, it's gonna reduce the moisture problem in the rink, it's gonna allow the rink to operate longer, and it's gonna save us money, so, impossibility.
Thanks, IEP. Okay, Carol, do you have anything?
Just wanted to thank the board for allowing me to attend the training last week. It was very, very informative and it was interesting. And thank you.
Arsen?
I'd like to ditto those remarks. It was, we covered everything from healthcare reform to changes in the IRS rules and regulations to what to look for when you extend the water and sewer to outside users outside of the village. And I guess I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit. I got a 20-year award for attending 20 fall
Yes,
training
by the way,
schools.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
So,
Thank you. Ryan?
Just to give an update on one of our very large improvement projects in our budget this year. The railroad crossings, the 3 bushes, they're completed, and we have our 3 12-inch sleeves under the tracks. So we'll be getting a bill for that.
I would assume we
But
would.
it is a budgeted item, and it did come in under budget, so. But the job is complete, so we'll be ready to go underground on Pratt and Chapman next year.
Excellent.
All I have.
And on that note, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we have a meeting here at Veterans Park with the ELAD. And everything's been approved by the state, so we're moving forward. And Brian's electrical crew will start putting his lights in down on tomorrow, start putting lights in on Montgomery Street. So, that, another project's moving.
If you see there's a dig on Lower State Street, we're just waiting for a cement vault. That's why there's like an open hole that's barricaded and State Street's not done. We have to, we're waiting, they're making us a concrete vault. We had to use the vaults for the railroad. So Cresthaven up in Malone is making us another vault to set there. That's why that hole's open and that job's not done. It's just, we have to continue, so we're gonna start doing some street lighting, then we'll have that. So,
Excellent.
just
Open the meeting to public this time. Nobody wishing to address the board, I will take a motion for recess.
Got it. Second.
Moved by trustee Huckrow, seconded by trustee Baker at 17.
That ties our record.
What?
That ties our record.
You haven't caught up with Stanley yet.
Yeah, got to say.
He told
Well,
me.
listen, I don't wanna catch up to
That's
it.
what you got that shit right.
We got that right. We're going west tonight. We're going west tonight.
The westerly direction.
With myself.
Make this year should be very quick.
We did an executive session to discuss,
Very, very
right
quick.
here.
The answer is no.
Litigation.
Well, I'm looking at sleeping.